What is good, rookies? Welcome to our round 9 trade talk, where we're going to go through injury reports, trades, and VC&C options for round 9. We're going to try and fly through this one because there's nothing too crazy here. Crouch, 4 to 6 weeks, great for Dawson. In regards to Brisbane, Coleman is coming through the VFL, had a good first game back. Fagan has come out and said that he has a winning formula at the moment. Who's going to make way for Coleman? Fletcher's playing well. Wilmot's doing all right. Payne, I don't imagine moves out for him either. So there's a few things for Fagan to consider before trying to insert Coleman into the team. So for those potentially worried about Zorko as a pick or holding or whatever it might be, I still think we need to wait and see. So I won't make any moves just yet. For Carlton, we have Salvini as a test. We also have Cottrell out for 4 to 5. Does this mean we see Silvani move forward again like we've seen him do before? Pitnet still seems to be doing okay at the second level. I don't believe we're going to see him named, but Voss could destroy us all and do that and make TDK trade our target potentially. The ones we need to watch for this is a Carroll on what's happening with there. We saw last week that there was that mixture of Cohen and Carroll that ended up working. We didn't see any of them dropped, so we're hoping we see a very similar mix here at least. I'm not going to touch on these ones as it doesn't affect too much. Obviously, Ridley being out is great for Reed and a prior type. Now, whether the scoring potential is still the same, I do believe that both played much better with Ridley in the team rather than without. So I am predicting that there might be a bit of regression in both. Maybe particularly Reed, but we'll see what happens. That's my predicament. We could see Sardis get dropped as well as Dylan Shield is also available now after being rested. Now, jumping into Freo, this is probably more of an important one. We see Young is out for 10 to 12 weeks. We thought this would be good for Erasmus to get another call up and hopefully find a spot for a few weeks, but Nod is actually a test, so we could just see a straight swap for Young and Nod without having Erasmus really get that shot again. So we'll see what happens. One to watch for team sheets. In regards to the other really injuries, the only one to consider is the hand for Mackenzie. We also have Amon with the test and Scrimshaw with the 1 to 2 alongside the Nash suspension. This is all just good things for Huswaite. So if you haven't got him, you need to get him in this week. He's going to be an absolute cash cow, probably around the mark to make an instant 80k at this point. So really good things. Oliver is a test for this week. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get up to play. So we'll see what happens. North Melbourne, Jackson Archer, 8 weeks with the hamstring, and Curtis is still to round 11 with the suspension. This might work well for the likes of a Hardiman. We're also looking at potentially a Finbar as well. We're hoping we don't see Zach Fisher named because we want to see Sheasel in that halfback role and see it maintain. Moving ahead, we'll probably touch on this a little bit further next week, but if for those that are looking at going early on Lorenz, I wouldn't consider going early just because Boak is a test that could be a straight like for like. Moraes has been dropped and it is that wing role, so it's not like the most optimal role to trade early into. So I definitely would want to wait until they're on the bubble before bringing them in. Anything else? Philippou is a test, so he was going to play last week but ended up getting a corky to the quad, which pushed him out just to be on the side of caution. So we could see him back into the team this week, which would be awesome as an option in the next couple of weeks. But also that might affect Boxall. We're not really sure just yet. We're hoping Boxall does hold a spot. As played very, very well. Had big racks on in preseason. Saw the preseason match as well against the Blues and played very, very well. So we're just hoping he sticks. In regards to Sydney, pretty much all things that we see here are benefits for both Chad Warner and Cleary. Chad Warner being, we obviously want to see those CBAs stay at what they have been the last couple of weeks. Don't see anything in here currently challenging that. And same for Cleary's role as well. West Coast, McGovern is probably out just for 1 week under concussion protocols. So I would not be looking at a Sandy Brock. It might help you facilitate trades, sure. But I believe that Brock will instantly go back out of the team like we've seen previously when McGovern is good to play. And then nothing crazy here. I will add that Liam Jones being out 3 to 4 probably does help Bustlinger. That sub just killed his cash gen potential, but it doesn't mean he's not an option. He still could very much be an option as he is on the bubble technically, but we'll get into that. So, injury report done. what am I doing? We're going to go through some players in my team, which you might have as well, and see what their plan is. We're going to start with the main one. So Bice, I think you hold. I don't think you trade out Bice to facilitate any trades. I think you just hold. He has all chances to reach his break even of 71. I mean, he averages 84. So he should have a really good game at Marvel Stadium where he has proved very well and playing Essendon. So should be a very good game for Bice and Roberts as well. Pryor, this is one where it's a perfect trade out option. Only averages 61 so far and has a break even of 74. Meets the criteria to be a perfect trade out. However, you could also still hold on to him. He's not going to lose too much cash in case you wanted to move on Deadwood from the bench, which I'm potentially looking at doing this week. Arias, I think, is a fine trade out. Capo, again, it's that tricky one where there's no cash to gain from it, so it's probably one just sits there. And we also have Kako as well. So Kako, at any point, you can really trade him out from here. He's just that really slow burn, only up to 234. Well, hopefully we can get him to 250 and then trade him out and kind of call it a W, even though it's been the slowest of slow burns. The interesting ones that people are looking to trade out is a Flynn, more importantly. Flynn's interesting because we look at, obviously, the cash grab was a play, and he's already made 120K for us. It's just more so, can he make us more cash? He had a dismal performance against the beautiful man that is gone with that 198, mind you. So that was on Flynn's head. It'd be interesting to see who's named. There was concerns that Archer Reed wasn't going to get up to play this week, but he's not listed on any injury reports as a test or anything like that. So we assume the squad might stay the same. So then your opinion might change on trading Flynn, depending on if he's still named solo ruck. He does have, who does he have? He has Nate. He does league points. So it's not the worst case. And then let's have a look for Flynn. He has Marshall next week. So he can still definitely make you some more cash. I would probably want to let go of him at round 11 though, because we've just seen Adelaide kill rucks essentially. Very, very restrictive. So what are we going to do with Flynn? Personally, for me, whether it's solo rock named or not, he's done enough for me to grab a primo, which is all I really want to do. I want to keep the cadence going. I want to grab value where I see it, and that's what we're going to do. Other people you can potentially look to trade out is just any Deadwood. If you have Deadwood, you can move. So I am probably looking to move Moraes down to a Boxall to facilitate an upgrade elsewhere rather than a Pryor, because Pryor is still playing. I mean, look, you never know. He could have a spike game against Sydney, all things considered, and get up to that 78 or even a 92, and then just kind of help make cash a little bit further, maybe get to that 315 mark. But again, in our previous video, we've spoken about, okay, what's the difference between, trading the rookie cash gen versus the target cash gen, the primo target cash gen. Is there going to be enough gen on either side to facilitate it next week, or should I go early now? So on and so forth. So either way, I think Pryor is a fine trade out option. Anyone else I would be holding. Robertson Bice, you're holding. I don't think you trade out of a Lindsay. Lindsay's got plenty of cash to make still. He's only got a break even of 14. Ashcroft, again, you hold. I would rather hold Ashcroft over Flynn any day of the week. Just a 51 break even. Coming up against North this week as well. We should hopefully see a really good game from Ashcroft. So what are my trades looking at? And I do apologize if I do sound a bit crook. I have been a bit under the weather the last 2 days, but I did want to get this video done and out to you guys just because it is a really interesting week for trades. So personally for me at the moment, I'm looking at going Moraes down to Boxall to facilitate some cash. So we're going to lock that in. And then we're going to move on Flynn. Now the reason why I want to move on Flynn is because he can get me 2 players that I want. Or one of 2. One of them is Dawson. Now, I really like Dawson in this new state. He has cleaned up everything that we want, and I can just get him with moving on dead weight. I don't have to try and move anything on. So I get to improve my bench health, and I also get to get a primo that's going to be a keeper, which then means I can essentially do something like this. Now, if I do go this route, I'm going to be, unfortunately... that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to swing these 2 around. So then I can put Bias on field with Pryor, and I can loop Carroll if he does have a jump game, but it also gets me Lindsay off field down here. The reason is like we can't trust Lindsay to have spike scores, whereas we only have one in Ashcroft and Hutswaite to help cover. Now, I could easily put a primo down here, but for the moment, this is just how I'm going to roll with it. Cleary, I still think is a fine hold. We can't loop Kako in any way or form, so it is what it is. But I'm fine putting Cleary on field. So this is one option. This way we get Boxall, Fonte or Boxall are fine to go early on, I believe. But we'll see what happens. Now, we'll get into VCs and Cs soon, but this is probably one of the most likely trade scenarios I go with. And Dawson could easily be Warner as well if I really wanted to go value. I just don't know if I can go there. There's just something that says my gut feeling is to go Dawson. Now, my buy structure does work better with Warner instead. So I could go either way. If you guys are having the same conundrum of do I go Dawson or do I go Chad, let me know down below on what your plans are, because I'm a little bit lost and it's going to be a little bit of a coin flip. The other option as well is if I don't choose to move on dead weight is make maximum cash from Pryor, swing Al Hooley back, and then I can get a Boxall as well. Now this gives me a lot more cash to use, which means I can then, pretty much get most players that aren't too far out of reach. So this means if we go 3 round average, for example, means I can still get a Neil, I can get a Merritt, I can get, a Meek, a Dawson, I can get most people that I would want that's not the big boys. If I did this way, it is so hard not to pass up on Merritt. He's got a low break even. Yes, he has the tag coming up, but I don't think Jordan's been that useful as tag of late. So I don't mind it. And it just gives us that big name, that VCC option that we can use because, next week, if we look ahead to the fixtures, Essendon do have Bulldogs. Then they have, where are we? Then they have Richmond, out of all people. So, Merritt is a really fine pickup. I just don't think it's complete value at the moment. There's still value to be had with an 89 break even. He's not going to go too far away from us if he does get his 114. But again, having Merritt in the team just looks nice. But this ultimately, for the moment, my gut feel says Dawson. So I want to grab Dawson, but this also gives us 100k for next week if I do this. So if I move Pryor on, I keep Moraes in that. Then I can move into, say, a Fonte next week. Maybe use a boost and grab a Lorenz as well for Kako or whatever it might be. The only issue here is I'm going to be looping Lindsay and Boxall. I don't get to make any major moves here because I can't do any DPP. But I do get the same amount of mids and rooks off field to a degree. So either way, it's just whether I hold Pryor through what could be a little bit of a cash loss or if I try to take him out at max cash. So that's me for the moment. As I said, I am more willing to move on Deadwood like a Moraes, unless he's named all of a sudden, which would be crazy. So I'm going to do this for now. And we're going to get in Dawson. I think Chad's a great pick, but I do love Dawson more than Chad because I think both are either great options. They're both potentially going to be top of line. But this also just lets me have a lot more flexibility with my on-field rooks, so on and so forth. So I do like this a lot more because it means I get Lindsay off field. So we'll see what happens. But they're my trades for my team. We're just going to have a quick look at trade options for the moment. Now we're just going to look at the top 5% just to get a really good idea of what's happening. So in regards to trade-ins, Pencil, Huswaite, absolute must-have rookie if you haven't already got him. Warner, totally fine. Would just keep in mind that what if the midfield role does change when Mills comes in or something changes? Can he have those spike games? Does he have a safe floor? Absolute value at 480. I definitely prefer a Warner pick over a Marshall pick, which we'll see down here. So definitely fine to grab Warner. Boxall, again, probably one you can go early on. Now, trading in Gawn at 687 might be a hot take, but I'm going to say don't do it. I don't think we should be paying up for these guys because there's almost a 1K difference between him and Merritt. Almost. That's crazy. You get to save around 85K going from, instead of getting a Gorn, you get a Merritt. Like, what does that 85K do for your trades next week? Likewise to like a Dawson. Like, you can even say more money if you were to grab a Dawson instead, or a Chad Warner. And this is the thing, is you want to be able to have the trade cadence to keep moving things on. So please do keep that in mind. So Gorn, I don't mind it. I don't think he's a must-have to get in. So save your money, please. Again, Merritt, I totally value getting him in. I still think there's value to be had. I don't mind it. I think I'm just going to play more of the value game. Now, Rankin and Track and Warner are probably all part of the same conversation. If I had to pick out of the three, I would probably go Rankin, Track, then Warner. Rankin and Track are priced around a similar point, but Warner is value with that, so I don't mind it. Warner is going to get away at some point with a break even to 26. The worst case, Warner is a cash play if he doesn't turn out to be a keeper as well. So that is something good to keep in mind. Neil, 583. Don't mind it. Looks like he's going to be around the mark for top 8. Marek is an interesting one. I don't think I'd be trading into Marek now. I know it looks good. It could just be the fact that it feels bad because everyone got him cheaper. So maybe Marek is a good shout. Sinclair, great price. He's going to drop still. So I don't mind waiting for him to grab him for the West Coast matchup. But if you wanted to pull the triggers now before other rookies lose cash, I have no issues getting him in. Marshall's the interesting one. So here's the hot topic. He has the second easiest ruck run. He has some really nice games first. So he has Carlton and then West Coast. But then he has 2 tough matchups in Wits and Gorn. Then he goes to English, Cameron, Shrek, Dogger, Meek, Grundy, who knows at Geelong, Gorn again, Sherry, Nank, Essendon, and then Briggs. I don't mind it. If you're going Rowan Marshall, I don't think it's a keeper play, as in I don't expect you to bring him in and then keep him for the rest of the season. He is more of a cash generation type of trade. So when you grab him, you're expecting to trade him out again. He's literally just another Flynn type that we're looking. Erasmus, again, this is one I'd wait for team sheets on. Bailey Dale, I'm sure I would go there. It is good value, do not get me wrong. But we've seen that flaw that he has at the moment. So just one to keep in mind. Fonte, again, in hindsight, has done a straight swap for Connor Stone. Seems to be better suited to that role and adds a bit more to the role than what Stone could, i.e. transition, running, so on and so forth. Again, elevated price at 160 though, I'd probably wait. If I had to pick out of him and Boxall, I'd probably go Boxall first. Paying 160 at this stage, when you could wait one more week to be confident in it, I think it makes more sense. Callahan, I don't mind it. He does look to be around the mark, but see what happens. Whitfield, totally fine. He will have I don't imagine a spike game happening at any point at GMHBA with Whitfield. So this week or next week, I think is fine. Well, really, Dunkley, I think, is a great pickup. Zorko's a great pickup. Again, I don't know about paying up for the likes of Bont. I wouldn't be going early on Lorenz. I think Sherry's probably the only one I would be willing to pay up for at the moment, because he's not too bad at 629, but he is about to go up in price. So we could do a play, burn our last boost, go early on Fonte and Boxall and gain Sherry, but I just don't think that's the play. Finbar going early, probably wouldn't. Daycost is a great pod pick as well. So that's just a few different ones. When we look at trade outs, I'm going to go through the main ones that make sense. So Hal Pepper makes sense. Davidson makes sense. Your Murphy Reeds makes sense. Your Sam Laylor makes sense. Pryor makes sense. Flynn can make sense. There's a count for both. Riley Bias, I would not be trading out. I just wouldn't be considering it. Even if it gets you to whoever you want, I would either find better value or I would just wait and just correct rookie health, bench health, basically. Prize fine. Chera, again, I don't love the trade out, but if it helps get you that top liner that potentially fixes your buy structure as well, I don't mind it at all. Just again, I'm not a fan of the sideways just yet. Array is perfectly fine. DDK, again, I don't I just don't think I could do it. I don't think it's the right idea just yet. We haven't had any reason to really trade him out. If you're going from a TDK to Sherry, I don't think you're actually going to gain that much point-wise for the time being. So I think there are other problems around the field that you could look to correct. Oliver, trading out this week, you just got to wait until team sheets. If he plays, I wouldn't be trading him out. Some people are trading out of Brayshaw. That's crazy. Why are you trading out of Brayshaw? I know he's going to lose cash, but he's in the top 8. Do not trade out Brayshaw, please. Reed's perfect trade out. Kako fine. Lindsay fine. Rao makes sense. He's just as some have been saying, a downhill skier at this point. Jordan Clark, I would not be trading out at all. He had a down game. Freo would crash. He's going to lose cash for sure, but he's definitely around the mark for top 6, top 8, and one I'm potentially looking at getting. So I just can't wait for him to get cheaper. So we'll see what happens there. And with that, we're probably just going to leave it there for the time being for trade outs. Let's just have a quick look at overall, if that wants to work. There we go. Love this. But yeah, so like a Davidson, a Law, Reed, Palpepper, perfect trade out options. Sanders, perfect trade out. Never, even a Short. Short's done Short things. He's probably the only like sidewaysy trade I'd probably sign off on is getting rid of Short. Lindsay, no. Daniel, I get the idea. It's a big play. I wouldn't be doing it. Archer Reed, he still may play, so don't lock that in. Connor O'Sullivan's an interesting one. He's still going to make plenty of cash. He's only got a 43 break even. I still think he'll be fine, especially with Humphreys out. So he'll be fine. Yeah. Interesting. So first and foremost, let me know what you guys are doing for your trades down below before we get into VCs and captains. Let me know if you prefer Dawson or if you prefer the Chad. I'm personally going Dawson, but Chad could easily be in that spot as well. It probably will just come down to a coin flip because both runs are very nice for both of them. We're going to VC and C options. We're just going to blitz through this. We've spoken about the targets, the Chad and the Dawson. So let's just smash this out. Freo and Collingwood. I dare say, I'm not going to say Sarong's a VC option because we haven't seen it yet. Brayshaw and Dacos are your main VC options I would take from this game. In regards to St Kilda and Carlton, Hewitt might be a shout if you own a Hewitt. I definitely like the TDK. Even a Walsh, but you imagine Windy goes to Walsh or Cripps or one of those. I doubt Windy goes to Hewitt, in all honesty. So I think Hewitt's a good VC shout. I think McRae is a solid shout as well. Even RoMo, potentially, if you want to bring him in. TDK does leak points. So I don't mind McRae or RoMo. Sinclair's a very left field one. I just don't have a lot of confidence in it, so I probably wouldn't go there. But McRae or RoMo are probably a decent. We obviously have the likes of Gorn and Track, which could do pretty well in regards to VCC options. In regards to Hawthorn, though, I do not mind a Newcomb VC. I do not mind it at all. If I had a loop option, I would probably try to take it just to take a bit of a risk. Because I think he is going to do well enough for a decent score. Doesn't have the best record against them, but I don't mind it because Melbourne don't look as great at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. You could go Merritt in the next game. Maybe a Nick Martin because they're not going to send any attention to Nick Martin because he just can move around a fair bit. Even a Chad Warner, I don't think I would risk it because they could send attention to him in Durham as well. So just one to be cautious of. I probably wouldn't VC anyone from this game. If I had to, it'd be Merritt, but just understand that there's a potential tag there. The Bont or even Richards, honestly, even Richards against Gold Coast could go nuts. But obviously Bont, maybe Noah Anderson. Anderson could be a good shout here for VC if you wanted to go there. But at this point, we're probably looking at captaincy options. So Noah Anderson, I probably think would be fine. It is a home game, so it should be fine. But yeah, Bont, perfect. The Derby itself, the showdown, whatever they call it, Butters, perfect. Rosie, maybe. I think Rosie would be fine. I definitely like prefer Butters. From Adelaide, though, Dawson could probably do it. He will most likely cop attention, but he is very flexible. So we hope we don't see. This is probably something that's going to push me off to Chad looking at this. Like we've seen him go 143, 94, 114. So yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I don't mind the Dawson pick here. From Richmond, though, I mean, honestly, the only person really looking at is maybe a Marek. From Richmond, maybe a Nank if you got Nank. I doubt anyone else has got like a Taranto. And then Whitfield, I would not look at for this game as a captaincy option. Green, I probably also wouldn't look at. Maybe Callahan, if you really wanted to go there. From Geelong, depending on who, if Toby Bedford is not named, I don't mind going Holmes or a Smith. I think they'll do quite well. But the main safe captaincy option will either be a Cherry from North or like a Neil. I don't know if I trust Zorko or Dunks just yet to have like a safe captaincy option. So I would just look at Sherry or Neil. I think that's it. That's what we're going to go for. We're going to have a quick look at coaches' choices and then VCs. So yeah, very, very similar. I think Sheasler's an interesting one. But yeah, Brayshaw, TDK. Yeah, we've kind of gone over these. So perfect stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate you guys watching. Again, apologies on the late upload, just have been getting my ass kicked by asthma at the moment. A couple of asthma attacks over the last couple of days have not helped my situation. So, yeah, sucks not to breathe. With all that said, let me know what you guys are doing for your trades down below. Make sure you leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe. We do have a goal. A new goal is just reaching 1,000 by the buys. So we've got a few more rounds, a few more weeks. But if we could reach 1,000 by the first buy, so round 12, we've got 3 weeks. We might do a little cool celebration of hitting 1,000 subs. So I want to put you guys on a bit of pressure. When you guys bring the mouth guards in at training, I want to see if we can reach that target of 1,000 by the buy rounds coming in. So you guys have been awesome. You guys have been smashing it lately. I would love to see that same movement keep going. And lastly, big shout out to all the members. We've had new members sign up over the last couple of weeks. So we've had Yaron and Ange jump on. So thank you guys for the extra support and extra shout out to all the pre-existing members as well. You guys are awesome. Good luck leading into this round, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you for the ever so fun After Dark stream on Saturday night. Cheers.